Let's start with there's a couple of royal stories here today. But certainly the story of finding out a little more about the Queen's final days and the discussions that she was very much clearly aware that these were her final days and was very much part of the arrangements that her last days would be spent at Balmoral.
Which was the house I think she loved more than any other.
Yeah.
She felt at home there. And it sounds though everyone made the right decision here, which is after 70 years of non-stop putting duty first, in her final couple of days, they put her comfort first.
Yeah.
And I think all of us would probably applaud that and say, well done.
I thought what was rather nice, and this was Princess Anne, the Princess Royal, that had kind of revealed in an interview this detail. And apparently the Queen had said or feared that it would make things more difficult if she died there, because logistically it's further away and everything. And you know, that kind of sort of benevolent, rather charitable thought about that situation I thought was incredible. From an elderly lady, our monarch was thinking to the bitter end about what might be tricky for the country.
And what everyone always said about the Queen was she put duty first.
Yeah.
And doesn't that rather prove it? 2 days before she died, she knew she was on the way out. She still was thinking about duty first of all. I think that says everything you need to know about that particular person.
Yeah, and it's interesting because we remember that day, it was a Friday, when we heard the news that the Queen had died, and you know, we'd sort of been preempted a little bit in the media that this was about to break, but it wasn't officially announced, and there was speculation that maybe it wasn't true, and you know how these things work. You hear these stuff. Is it right? Is it not right? But as soon as we were sort of given that news, of course, there were many days of events that were carried out, and you know, the fact that the Queen was in Balmoral, her favourite place, and then we were privy to watching this whole car carrying the body of the late Queen across the country, and the various events that happened around that, the commemorations, the church. I mean, it was an incredible week, wasn't it, also?
It really was.
As this rather terrible news unfolded, but the most extraordinary, dignified, just incredible, very measured, sort of almost quintessentially British response to everything.
And the fact that the coffin had to go the length of Britain actually added to the sense of drama, I suppose,
Correct.
and the momentousness of that occasion. I mean, the whole country stood still for a couple of weeks, didn't it?
Yeah.
And which was right, given her decades of service.
What I find incredible is that we showed a clip there of I think probably the last photo of the Queen. I think that was taken on the same day that Liz Truss, who was, for those who don't remember Liz Truss, she was the Prime Minister of this country for half an hour. And Liz Truss, of course, had her final audience with the Queen. And she'd reported that she thought, although frail, that the Queen was actually still, there is the image there, was still very much alert to what was going on, and was perhaps more shocked than many, because she would have been one of the last non-royals to arguably see the Queen.
I think it was the last official engagement for the Queen, wasn't it? And in that photo, she genuinely looks content. Obviously, photography can lie, but if we're to look at that photo and say what we see, the Queen 2 days before her death, 96, 97 years old, looked content and looked happy. And that's all anyone can ask.
Absolutely. There is a lighter royal story knocking around as well about royal nicknames. Many of you might have caught this a little earlier. Mike Tyndall, of course, who's married to Zara Phillips. Zara Phillips, have I got that right?
I think so.
I think so. Zara Phillips has revealed that he calls Prince William one Pint Willie, because apparently he's not one of the best drinkers out there. I think we can actually see. This was from a podcast that Mike and Zara gave, and this was the moment when he revealed his moniker for the Prince of Wales.
For the Prince of Wales, he is known as One Pint Willie. He is known to me as One Pint Willie because he's not the best of drinkers, coming from a sport where it's built on the social aspect and a couple of beers being sunk quite often. So yeah, that is one that I will definitely give away for the Prince of Wales. One Pint Willie. There you go. It's out there now. Sorry, sir.
It seems so. He's not a drinker. It doesn't surprise me somehow. I don't think it matters that he's not a drinker. It's not exactly an insult, is it? We don't drink alcohol a lot.
It's a slight insult, but there could be worse.
Yeah,
I think, doesn't Kate call him Prince Baldy or something?
Well, here's the funny thing, because this guy's got a load of nicknames. Poor old William. I don't know how he's somehow galvanised all the nicknames. Another more flattering moniker is apparently Big Willie. I don't know whether we should pursue that one, but which was apparently Kate's name for her husband when they were in the first flush of romance back in the 2000s.
As you say, probably best not to go there.
Yeah, I mean, maybe because his name is William and he's quite big.
Yeah, and he's got a big job ahead of him.
He's got a big job, so there's a lot of bigness about.
Maybe that's what she meant.
And he's probably 6'1", I would imagine, height 6, maybe a little more.
Certainly towers over the king.
He towers over the king. But then Kate's pet name for her husband appears to now be Prince Baldy, which is, I mean, he's not hiding it, is he? But he's, sorry, I just threw my pen in shock. He's not hiding the fact that he's obviously losing it up top.
No, I mean, he has a choice over that, but Kate is obviously saying what she sees there, which I think is fair enough. And it's quite flattering in a sort of a gentle humour kind of a way.
A couple of others. The Princess of Wales revealed that she was nicknamed Squeak when she visited her old school in Berkshire. I don't know why they called her Squeak.
Squeaky clean?
Could have been squeaky clean. And late Queen Elizabeth was nicknamed Gary after Prince William couldn't pronounce grandma when he was a kid.
Yeah, which is quite sweet.
Gary.
And I think it's again, a strange one, but sweet, I think.
There's no less royal name, is there really?
There isn't.
Gary.
No.
But
no.
I
Trevor
like it.
might be another one.
Prince George dubbed PG Tips, apparently. We don't know why.
Yeah.
And then, in a self-depreciating moment for the royals, the king has joked about his sausage fingers. Were you always familiar with the sausage finger?
I was.
Because lots of people have... It's one of those things that many people are not... That there are the said sausage fingers. I mean, they don't look too bad there, but there are some absolute bangers hanging off those wrists. I mean, quite literally, it's in certain images. And it's one of those stories that if you haven't noticed it before and you show somebody a picture of the king's sausage fingers, there is a reaction. It's like, wow, he really has got massive fingers.
Yes. And William apparently has inherited those massive fingers, we're told, which isn't the best inheritance, I would suggest.
Exactly. To inherit fat fingers, I don't think is good.